So, y'all, I came on and I didn't really come on to be here for a long time. I didn't even expect to be live at this time because I have to be up early in the morning. One of my kids have surgery in the morning. Yes, on Christmas Eve, one of my kids are having surgery this morning. So I should be like in bed, um, sleeping for several hours at this time. But, anyways, earlier tonight, I was having a conversation with one of my sisters, and I don't even remember how we got there. But, anyways, it got me to a place of being triggered. And when I say triggered, um, for those of you all who know, hey, Shalissa, you just laid down yourself. Um, and I am, even though I have been triggered, I am still happy to be able to have a smile on my face this time because usually being triggered means that um, I'm crying, losing it. I'm really going through a hard time at this moment. But I am really grateful for this one. Not so happy about the situation, but I'll explain a little bit. Tonight I was talking to one of my sisters, and I don't know, some kind of way we ended up talking about um, me asking you all here on YouTube, what does Pandora's box mean? I don't know what Pandora's box mean, but sometimes I use it in my analogy to like explain like how when you've been in situations where you've been touched inappropriately, SA'd, or any of that stuff like that. You know, you got to use abbreviations and stuff on here. So sometimes I use Pandora's box, but I really don't know what Pandora's box mean. If anybody knows what that mean and you can explain it in the chat, please explain it to me. But anyways, I use it in my scenarios as like I hate going into Pandora's box because I don't actually know what's going to pop out if I go inside that box. And sometimes you can be talking about the things that happen to you, and everything is not there at the time, but it's almost like you go back in that time, in that space, and different things start to come up. So tonight I was talking to her about it, trying to get an understanding what a Pandora's box is, but she really didn't know. But she was saying that it sounds like I'm like maybe in the right place about it or whatever. So I said, because I don't know the meaning of it, I'm going to stop using that because I could be using it in the wrong way. But I kind of look at my situation as like, you ever had a jack in the box and you wind it and you wind it and then he pop out the closet and like pounce, bounce on you or whatever like that. You just don't know when he's gonna pop out. Well, when you've been through situations like this, it's kind of just like that. It's like you be going through these situations, and then if you talk about them or something, something else can like jump out that you didn't really feel, or you maybe suppressed it, not really paying attention, it just catch you by surprise. We'll say that. Okay. So as I'm talking to her, um, we start talking about the age that I was when I started having kids and how like my older children don't understand like how old I was when I had my first children or whatever. And so just to come to that understanding, and with my first son, me going back and revisiting I even how I even got to this place was crazy. I told the story about that before. I told you all that one night my auntie, um, she bought this guy to the house. I was already inside of my house, which was my grandmother's house. My auntie, being her daughter, was living there too. But my grandma and them was out of town at church or whatever. I don't remember actually where they were, but nobody was there at the house except for me and one other person. One person was in the room, I was in the living room. The person in the room was sleeping. my auntie came to the house and she drops a guy off at the house, and the guy comes in the house. But anyways, I ended up being great. Y'all know what that means here on YouTube. You take the G off of it and you have an understanding of what I'm saying. So I start going down this whole line talking to my sister tonight. And it was something in me as like sitting in that space. All of a sudden I start to feel this anger of, and I can only explain it in the words that I know. This hoe set me up. She set me up. She planned for this to happen. It was almost as if like it was just coming to me as if she sat in the car and she told him, because it made no sense. Why did you drop him off there? I'd never seen him before. I didn't know who he was. And on top of that, I was a newly 13-year-old. I just went from 12 to 14. But what would make your auntie, that's 20 plus at this time, bring some random guy there that she probably knew him well? I didn't. I had never seen him before. She dropped him off there, but a feeling came up on the inside of me as if she told him, well, my niece and go in there and see if you can holler at her. And I know that sounds so crazy for me to even think that way, but I'm trying to make sense of this stuff that happened to me. And the more and more I see stuff, it's like, um, the crazier like these thoughts get. And so I didn't want to go to sleep with that on my mind. But what I'm thankful for, because usually these triggers come with a whole bunch of tears, a whole bunch of sadness, a whole bunch of frustration. And a lot of the times, the frustrations and the angers and all of that stuff usually end up targeted at myself. Um, and I just didn't, usually I would try to skip over trying to come and speak to you all about it or whatever. But I say, let me come on and let me just go ahead and talk about it so that I don't try to close my eyes tonight going to sleep with that on me. But I'm very thankful, and with what the way that the trigger came up tonight let me know that I am growing in whatever situation that I'm in. Don't mean I ain't gonna have no hard times again, but I'm absolutely growing from what these triggers usually do for me. And there is some examples of what these triggers usually do to me right here on YouTube. But um I'm also very thankful to God, because I know that without him allowing it to come in the bits and pieces that it had been, if all the stuff that then came back up inside of me over these past 5 years would have all came at one time, I do know that most likely I still would not be here in this on this side of the world with you all, talking to you all. Hey, hello BWL. Um so um I know me speaking about it, me talking about it is helping put me um in a better place. Um than I have ever been before. And again, like I said, I haven't um I know I still have a long way to go, because a lot of things that still happen to me, I still have not talked about it. And but I can say the triggers are better. Not saying that I'm happy about the triggers, but also in my conversation with my sister, it started to get a little heavy. And once I get triggered into those places, there is no controlling my mouth, because I literally have to say what I have to say in that moment, because you do know when you've been through um, SA, when you've been great, take the G off of it. When you've been inappropriately touched as a child, um, you often keep those things as a secret. So, or you better not tell nobody or no none of that. So now when it comes up, there's no control in my mouth. I say what I want to say whenever I want to say it, and I don't care whoever it is that's in the place whenever it's happening. But whatever, however deep I was going, and with my sister, I feel it's a very safe space. So, mm, but whatever it was happening at the time, it got deep enough for my sister to be able to say to me, sis, I can't handle it. I can't handle it. And I really respected her for saying that, because I respect when people say they have boundaries and like they can't handle that, because I know sometimes the stuff that, the thoughts and the remembering of all the things that happen, it's sometimes heavy for me. I get up and start running to find me some kind of peace in some way. So, um, and I think also that it was also God that's saying, okay, that's enough, because had I kept going and kept going, probably more triggers would have been dug up, and I just it like it put a break on it right then. So I just didn't want to close my eyes and think it tonight, thinking about um my auntie set me up, and there's nothing I can do about feeling that way. I already said to y'all, even though I feel like that, I still love my auntie and everything. Whatever happened to me happened. It's in the past. Um, it's in the past, but still, I'm still dealing with that past. So, if this is something that you going through in your life, sometimes you know, and I know a lot of people that have been in our position. We want to be Miss Nice Nice. We don't want to step on nobody's toes. We don't want conflict. We don't want any of that. And sometimes you don't have no control of any of that. And I think we have a special kind of grace, because we done held so much in at one time. We actually have grace to go ahead and do the yelling and screaming that comes behind that, because the yelling and screaming is a part of the healing process. The tears are a part of the healing process. And so I just want to come on and say, for my healing sake and your healing sake, be willing to go through your process and do your yelling and screaming and get the healing that it is that you need. And I think that's all I came on and I needed to say tonight, because I can't think of anything else. And if nobody really have any questions or anything, then I'm gonna get ready to go. But BWL, I think I answered your question. What are you talking about? Um, I talk about a lot of different things. This is life over here with me. You never know where you're gonna be at when you come into this chat. I can be in the garden one minute. I can be having the most amazing day one minute, and then I can be having the worst day ever. And you can come in here and I haven't slept in maybe more. This is life over here. That's all I can say about it. And tonight was one of the nights when things that happened to things that happened to me as a child came up, which often they do. And in order for you to get healing from them, they have to come up to come out. So be willing to allow it to come up so it can come out and get your healing. And I just want to say thank you all for coming through. High Class Gardeners, make sure you're growing something and grow along with it. You all have a great night, and happy holidays. I will talk to you all the next time.